Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Hope you're having a nice day. Welcome back to the channel. This is Himanshu and you're watching Weekly Cricket News. And we are back again with another match, another review. This time we are talking about match between Delhi and Rajasthan happened yesterday in the Mumbai Wankhede Stadium. You know the drills. We are gonna split this video into 5 sections. We're gonna talk about the five important things about the match. And here we go. The first things first, Jaydev Unadkat. This guy was absolutely sensational yesterday with his 3 wickets, and his figures were 3 for 12 in 3 overs in the power play, and eventually it was, I think, 15 or 16 runs overall in his 4 over, and he was the difference between the two sides. He gave the Rajasthan Royals early breakthroughs, caught all three tops wicket. Prithvi Shaw, Shikhar Dhawan, the two half centuries makers from the previous game, and also got Ajinkya Rahane. All of them was dismissed on a slower ball. It was very unusual pitch, unlike what we are used to in Wankhede, and the ball was gripping and stopping very much in the first half, and later on it stopped and started skidding because of dew. So the bowlers from the different team, from the two teams, have to adjust to the condition. But Jaydev bowled beautifully in the first half, used the cutters and the off cutters very effectively, and got himself 3 wickets. One of them was a brilliant catch by Sanju Samson off Shikhar Dhawan. He was trying to lap it over the keeper, couldn't do it properly, got in thickish outside edge, and it was caught brilliantly by Sanju Samson on the leg side. Jaydev Unadkat, who had an absolutely amazing season back in 2017 IPL when he was playing for Rising Super Giant Pune or something like that, and he, I think, took more than 25 wickets in the IPL, and he was the difference for Pune in that season. Afterwards, he kind of lost his charm, and he was lackluster in the two IPLs. Afterwards, three IPLs, I want to say. And he also went for big bucks in 2018 auction, but couldn't live up to the potential. And it's good to see him back into the folds and getting wickets. I was really happy for him to see his hard works pay off. And the DC innings was in complete disarray. Even the big Australian Stoinis got out cheaply. He couldn't even open his account, got out of duck of 5 balls, looked very uncomfortable during his entire stay. And then in comes Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, the captain, the new captain of Delhi Daredevils, Delhi Capitals, and he was under pressure to deliver because his team was in a deep trouble, and it took a Herculean effort from Rishabh to took them out of the dig, and he almost ensured that DC will be scoring above 160. He was going great guns. He scored his 50 of 30 odd balls, and he was going very great until that ill-advised running, and he just tried to nudge Riyan Parag and took off without even realizing that the ball isn't too far from the bowler, and Riyan Parag picked the ball up and in one motion turned around, aimed for the stump, threw the ball, and it hit. That was a very, very good piece of fielding. And Riyan Parag, we all know he's a very good athletic person all around. He's very good in the outfield, in the inner circle, and obviously he showed that he's good with off his bowling as well. And Riyan Parag ultimately caused the Rishabh Pant to lose his wicket, and he was quite devastated to lose a wicket in such a way. He was going so well, one would have expected him and Lalit Yadav, debutant, he was also playing very beautifully, to take this match all the way. It couldn't happen. They could score only 147, and everyone thought that on Wankhede is this type of wicket where the ball is gripping and turning a bit. It's gonna be really challenging with DC's bowling lineup. Anyways, the difference between winning and losing for Rajasthan were 2%. The first of them being David Miller. David Miller, I remember the first time I heard his name, it was back in 2012 or 13, I'm forgetting which year exactly, and he scored a blistering century of 101 run of 38 or 39 balls something. Back then he was playing for Kings 11 Punjab, that team, now Punjab Kings, and he scored that against RCB. Yes, I vividly remember him scoring his century by hitting a monstrous six of Chris Gale, and that was the first time I ever heard the name of Devin Miller, and I was really surprised and excited by this talent. But sadly, in the IPLs after that, he was giving one or two performances that were not that memorable as that 100 of 38 balls. But it was good. David Miller coming into this year's IPL was in good form. He scored two half centuries against Pakistan just before coming to India for the IPL, and he carried his form from the international to the IPL, and he was hitting the ball crisply. And it was the first inning of TC was the first time ever that a team playing in Wankhede could score a single six. Such was the domination of Rajasthan Royals bowler, and it took another 15 overs and 3 balls, I think, for a team to score a six in Wankhede. That was Miller of Anvesh Khan. Beautiful flick shot, deep point over the backward deep point heads. It went for six, and the next ball, what a sound of was there of bat with the ball meeting the mid of the bat, and it was a cracking sound. Went for I think 88, 89 meter or 80 meter six. It was towering six, not that long, but it went very high. And David Miller perished in attempt to go again for the third one, and it was slightly in his art, but he failed to put some timing behind the shot, and he was eventually caught at mid on. Even though he played a very beautiful hand, he ensured that the mat didn't go almost out of the Rajasthan Royals hand, and he scored 64 or something of, I can't remember the ball, 30 or something balls. He was the one who stopped. Him and Tewatia managed to secure a partnership, and that ensured the debacle that was happening in the top order. Chris Vokes and Rabada, they were bowling absolutely beautifully in the power play. Chris Vokes, we know, is a swing bowler. He's gonna swing around, and it was nipping a bit as well. And he got himself 2 wickets in 1 over. And Rajasthan Royals would have been in a very sorry state had it not been David Miller. David Miller, I think, was the person that turned the match around. In came the big buck, the big player, Chris Morris. The last game, everyone expected him to do better. He couldn't. This game, mind you, he bought only 3 overs. When you buy a player for over 2 million US dollars, you expect them to bowl at least 4 overs. And no, Sanju Samson didn't give him the last over. He went with Chetan. And Chris Morris, despite being the highest ever bought player in the IPL auction, couldn't finish the 4 over quota. He was not in his rhythm. He was giving every freebies in every over virtually. And it was a better decision by Sanju Samson to opt for Chetan. And Chris Morris, when he came down, I think in the last 2 overs it was required 34 runs, and one of the overs was to be bowled by Kagiso Ravada, a brilliant death bowler. Kagiso Ravada that is. And till that time, Chris Morris wasn't finding his timing properly, and he hadn't hit any sixes till that time. So it was the match was almost in favor of Delhi with 60-40, I want to say, and the over started with a six. Chris Morris over mid on, hitting a beautiful six, and thus it became interesting. Again, a flick shot of 88 meter six of Ravada, and it was really engaging cricket to see Chris Morris, an all-rounder, lower order hitting all-rounder, hitting Kagiso Rabada, the best bowler of the previous edition. and eventually the target came down to 12 runs or 13 runs of the final overs. Tom Curran was supposed to be bowling. And interesting thing that Rishabh Pant, I know he wasn't gonna give R Ashwin the last over to ball, but given the figures he had, 3 over 15 runs, 0 wicket, something like that, he should have finished his quota at least and try and reduce Tom Curran's over so he could have ball Anvesh Khan maybe at the death, or Chris Wokes, someone like that at the death, where they might have done better than Tom Curran. Tom Curran dished out two absolute dollies to Chris Morris, and he smoked those shots over deep mid wicket. And the first of them was a slower back of the hand slower ball, a very difficult ball to ball. And when you ball those kind of slower delivery back of the hand, it usually tends to either be too full or too short. On this occasion it was too short, and Chris Morris smoked that. The next ball I think was a dot delivery. No, the next ball was double, and the ball after that was dot. The 4 runs were required of 3 balls, and he dished out an absolute freebie, full toss on the leg side, knee height, perfect, above knee height, perfect for hitting it for a six. And Chris Morris eventually sealed the match with the six. And all he was very happy. He gave up a thumbs up to the cameraman, and all of us was thinking now back to the first match where he was denied a single. He was also asked that in the post-match interview, and he said that he always was looking for two. He was ready to sacrifice himself. He didn't wanted to take the strike. He wanted to give Sanju Samson the strikes because he was batting that brilliantly that night, which shows he's a team player. He was not selfish trying to take singles. He was ready to sacrifice himself. All right, guys, that's my analysis, in-depth review of the match. Previous match, we had another thrilling match between Delhi and Rajasthan. Although a low thriller, I was expecting a high-scoring match, but the bowlers from the both teams were very good. They adapted to the conditions really well and eventually got better of the batsmen. Anyways, it was a thriller as I was expecting. Doesn't matter if it's a high scoring, low scoring. I personally enjoy low scoring match much more, because in low scoring match there is a balance between bat and ball, which I enjoy a lot. The next match is between Chennai and Punjab on the same ground, although on the different pitch. So it might be different to the conditions which we had yesterday. So I'm thinking it's gonna be a close competition, but Chennai Super Kings has been on a low confidence. Last year was their worst IPL ever, and this year's start was also not good. So it's gonna be interesting what changes Chennai Super Kings will do. Will they offer another bowler, a foreign bowler in their ranks? It's gonna be interesting. And Punjab King back of a thrilling win, close win against Rajasthan Royals. They'll be high on energy, high on confidence. So it's gonna be a cracking match on the Wankhede Stadium. The last thing I want to talk about is the first week of IPL. This is Friday, and today will be the 8th match. So we are done with 7 match of the IPLs. Of those 7 matches, the trend is if you win the toss, you bat first. Batting first has won 4 matches as compared to the 3 matches. Although it doesn't look that big of a difference between this statistic, but if you consider the first match where RCB won just in the last ball of the innings, so it looks like, especially in Chennai, it is very tough to chase in Chennai, and in Wankhede in Mumbai, it's easier to chase than to ball first. So I think that's gonna be trend that teams winning the toss in Chennai will be batting first, and in Mumbai they would like to ball first. And it's gonna be Mumbai and Chennai till 25th of April, I think, and then from 26th another leg of the IPL will start, and the 2 grounds will be Ahmedabad and I want to say Kolkata. I'm not sure about that, whether it's Kolkata, Delhi or Bangalore. Ahmedabad, I'm sure it's gonna start in Ahmedabad, so it will be interesting to see how the matches goes in that new stadium, new pitch. Nobody knows the condition. Well, we had a series over there, but still it's an alien to many of the teams, to all of the IPL teams. So it will be interesting. And the first week is all been about the Indian domestic talents. Jaydev Unadkat, Sanju Samson, everybody rose to the occasion, and this shows what this tournament has been doing to the Indian talent, promoting them, giving the confidence to go against the best of the world. And it's a really good thing for a youngster to come and face a bowler from Australia to South Africa, Kagiso Rawada, and score of them. Jaydev Unadkat yesterday scored a six of Chris Vokes, a premium quality bowler, English bowler, and you playing against those guys are bound to give you confidences. And I think this tournament is off to a flyer, and we are gonna see a close IPL like we had last year, this time as well. The already teams have beaten who lost the first game have beaten, except for SRH has gone on to win their second game. So it's almost even today. Chennai will be Chennai's second game if they win. So all the teams will be having at least a win at least one win, except for the SRH. So it's getting really interesting from the beginning itself. It will be a cracker of match, and I'll be here to come. I'll be here to give you guys the review, the analysis. Give up a thumbs up if you like the video, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated to the IPL update. I'll see you guys same place next time. This is Himanshu Kashyap signing off.